Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AHA Experience podcast. This is Tanisha, your host. Thank you for joining us. Today, I have a special guest. I have Laura Martinez from Spain. The reason why I wanted Laura to be on this podcast, I just love how flat Laura sounds in English, guys. That's so bad. Laura sounds so much better. But but the reason why I wanted Laura to be on this podcast is because I met her while I was studying at the ashram in Thailand. We were studying traditional tantra together, and she was opening up to me about her life story and how she traveled around the world on her bicycle for 10 years. And I thought, what an amazing story, what a inspiring story. And so I wanted her to come on and inspire you all to take your own journey. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself, tell us a little bit about herself, and then we'll get straight into her journey and what she's done. So Laura, who are you?
That is a question that I ask to myself very often, I still not really answer.
Right?
I can give some talk, but the real answer I'm not sure still. But
Do
yeah,
we ever really know ourselves?
I don't think so really.
Me
Life
neither.
is too short to make such a big
Right.
discovering. But well, really I am a Spanish that I used to have a very normal, common, and happy life in Spain, but mm, I have my job, my partner, my the things were nice, but I felt like I wanted more. No, it's like life has to have more colors. I was feeling that, and then I decided to go to Edinburgh. To Scotland for the summer to learn some English. This was the year 2000.
Oh, I was in
And
China in 2000
oh my God.
teaching English.
Look at that. I should go to China to learn from you. That would be. But anyway, one trip that was going to be like the summer and coming back to keep my normal life
Mm.
end up being a year in Scotland. And from them, I never really came back, just in holidays, because from there, like it was a big shift in
Mm-hmm.
life for me. Was like to jump into the ocean, or to the party just started there.
Right. So where in Spain are you from?
I'm from near Madrid, near the capital, Alcalá de
Okay.
Henares. It's a very
Mm.
historical old town.
Okay.
It's a beautiful place, but yeah, I really wanted more, no, to taste
Yes.
more. And
Yes.
then since that 2000, I started in the beginning, like 9 years. I was living in different places, normally for a year.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was make some money to pay the plane ticket and 1 month of renting a room in wherever is the place I have in mind.
Right.
I went there and then find a job, like start a life, no? Find
Mm.
the first job appears, and then you little by little you change and you start to make the life more beautiful in the place. And
Right.
normally after a year, I was feeling, oh, let's move to another place. Let's keep going with this, discovering places and discovering myself in the
Right.
different places. So that was for 8 years, and then I was living in the last place. I was living in Dharamsala, where the Dalai Lama is
Yes. Yes.
there.
It's down so uh-huh.
I was there.
Tanzania.
Uh-huh. And I was in a school with a Japanese teacher, learning some Buto. It's a very complex to explain what is Buto, but very interesting. I was in love with the school. But then it was when I met Aitor by synchronicities of life. He was traveling by bicycle 1 year and a half already. And it happens that I went to Nepal to renew my visa to go back to India to keep my school. And we just find each other in the same backpackers. Uh,
Oh.
and then in there, I discovered, I just listening to him, like what is traveling by bicycle, and all his stories were amazing. And finally, we end up starting to with this trip by bicycle that in the beginning was going to be for a year, like Nepal to Spain by bicycle, and that's it.
Mm.
And we end up cycling 10 years around the whole world. We did all the continents in these 10 years.
Wow. So let's start with what what obstacles or what fears did you had to overcome to make you jump, or did you just not think about it and you just jump into whatever situation you, because my experience of moving around is quite similar as well. It's just like, whoop, saved up money, now I'm gonna go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but not as diverse as you, but yeah, I get what you're saying. But what did you, like, what kind of thoughts or beliefs or fears that may have popped up that you had to push past to do it?
Really, to start, to go from a kind of normal, as people call normal life, no?
Normale.
Yeah, yeah. From Madrid, from Spain, from my parents' home to out to Edinburgh. That was, I think, the big thing, no? And
Mm,
fears were all the possible fears passed
right,
through my body and mind, no? Like, and also because people was not really encouraging me to do it, but
right.
giving also their fears to me, like, oh, really, you are going to go to Scotland? Um, mm, bueno, they told me horrible things that can all the horrible things that can happen to you. They told me all. It was like, oh my god, don't do that to me now. Like,
Right. Is it?
so many fears, insecurity, because you don't know what is waiting for you. You don't know if you are going to be able to deal with. And I think always what I felt in my life is like fears are passing through your mind and body when you are not doing the thing, whatever the thing is, before.
Mm, mm.
Once you are in the
Great way to look at
action,
it.
everything goes because you are
Right,
there, you are
right,
active, you are in the solving mood, in
right.
the living mood. No, so you are living, things are coming, but you are reacting to things. So life is happening. But the
Yes.
problem is when you make the decision till the thing start, whatever it is, if it's a trip, if it's a new job, okay, I'm going to start with this new job or with this trip. And from that moment to the first day,
Yes.
the time of the fear eating you without
Mm. That's so true. I never
yeah.
thought about it that way, but that is so accurate of the experience. Yeah.
And what I feel, what I see, and all these years really traveling through all so many places and cultures and people, and what I saw is like we all humans experience the same. It's like it's not about me or you. We are kind of so much the same in these
Mm,
things,
hmm.
that it's even funny, really, and it's always it's kind of a very human thing, no?
Yes, yes, yes. And it's to be fair, like people like you, me, some of the people you met, your guy, what's his name? Igor? What was his name?
Aitor.
Igor. We are kind of anomalies in this fabric of society. You know what I mean? In that
Uh-huh.
most people don't leave the town they were born in. Most people, and it's a fact, right? And so, and I think like the conversations that I have with a lot of people who look at me and gush and go, "Oh my God, you did all that, you traveled there, what you do, you live, how," is the only thing that's keeping them from doing it is their own fear of what could happen versus being excited about what could happen, right? And so like when someone comes to you and say, "Oh my God, I wish I could do what you do," what are some of your words to them? What do you say to them?
I always say, well, you can, for sure, if you allow yourself to do it. If you really want to do it, you can do it, of course. Anything
Right.
is possible. I mean, if we made all these trip in a bicycle, everything is possible, everything. I just tell them that, no, yes, you can do it. Only maybe you have to double ask to yourself if you really want to.
Mm,
Because sometimes it's like, oh, I want to do it, but then if you realize you don't want to,
right.
it's just a moment of you are high and you think, oh yeah, 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 but no.
No,
And,
not the thing.
and then
So,
normally the conversation keep going because to figure out more about that person, because I guess we all are stopped by our fears, but
right.
it depends on the person. It can be different, no? What is stopping or what is
Mm, right. Like for me, some of my friends, they look at me and go, "God, you're fearless." because I take these risks and I traveled around the world, but yet they're fearless to me when it comes to like romantic relationships and love, whereas I tend to hold back in that area. So, it just depends on where you're willing to take the risks, and be uncomfortable. And in some instances, being uncomfortable for me is like being in a new place where I don't speak the language. I don't look like the people. They don't know who the hell I am. And I actually thrive in those sort of environments because I get to explore. But then if you throw me into a romantic relationship, I'm freaking out. You were like, you say love, and I'm like, and it's like a whole different conversation. So you travel you started off traveling for a year. You were going to ride your bicycle. First of all, what type of physical strength do you have to ride a bike? Because you're going through mountainous regions from Nepal to Spain, no?
For sure, we did the Himalayas, we did the Karakoram, the Pamirs in Tajikistan. We were, I don't know in feet because you measurement in feet, but we were like 5,000 meters high cycling. That's a
Yes.
lot.
Yes.
We did, I mean, I didn't start with nothing. I think that time was when I was less fit in all my life. That
Right.
was the time I started with the bicycle. And the thing is, if you have time to go slowly, then you can do it.
Right.
You can do it easily because you can get fit in the way day by day. No, we always were. Our mantra was, let's move by sensations,
Right.
listening to the body. Today I'm tired, or maybe my menstruation. My menstruation is very kind with me, but
Mm.
normally I have one day that is bad. So
Right.
normally today I just rest, no, because we didn't have like a certain kilometers to cover in certain time.
Mm.
In a limitation of time, we were just traveling without time limitation, so that gives you the freedom to listen the body, respect your body, and then allow the fitness to build up in your body little by little. So lot of
Okay.
rest. It is as important the training as the resting time. With those
Right.
two, you build fitness, not only with training. So then um, it was just little by little, step by step, and then when you realize you are suddenly fit.
Right. Wow. Okay. So where did you guys go that first year? And then what made you decide to keep going?
Yeah, well, we started in Nepal, and then we did India, Pakistan, and China, like the Silk Route. We
Yes.
we did there, like Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, all these tanes, and our idea was to keep going in line to Europe. But in Uzbekistan, we met again in the backpackers. This Japanese cyclist, he was already 10 years on the road, and then he was coming back to Japan to finish his trip. And we ended up being in the same place. We were in opposite directions. We
Yes.
sleep in that place, and then we were having breakfast together. And in that breakfast where everything changed.
Oh,
He was talking about Africa, about the beauty of cycling in Africa, the adventures in the Arab countries, and we were like, "Oh my God, oh my God!" Our eyes were like fried eggs, so big, amazing. And then we say, okay, we took out all the plates and all the cups from the table. We put the map of the world, and then we say, okay, let's make this real. Because we realized at that time that traveling by bicycle, you can really make it very cheap. Like
right.
spend very, very, very little money if you carry your tent, you cook for yourself, you don't pay for transportation, you only pay for visas and for your daily food that you can buy in the market. So you can really, really, I'm talking about really cheap.
Mm,
Um, so we realized at that time, like, still we have some money to go. We can do it. We didn't have no one waiting for us.
right.
So in that breakfast was when everything changed. And instead to go towards west after Iran, we passed to the Arab Peninsula, Dubai,
Mm.
Oman, Yemen, and
Mm-hmm.
from Yemen we crossed the Red Sea to Djibouti, Ethiopia, and then we went all the way south till South Africa.
Wow. Now, you and I talked about this and I crack up laughing. I still want to do this. Not
Uh-huh.
cycle, because I know my ass, I would not, I would die. But I'm on a motorcycle through certain countries in the world. Like, I definitely want a motorcycle through Iran and Ethiopia. I don't know why I feel like this would be this romantic experience in my head, but I am determined to make it happen sometime in my life. Um, what was your favorite places that you visited and why? And what was some of the challenges that you guys were having as you did it?
Favorite places? It really, with the years, the whole world become one thing.
Yes.
It's like I had to really go back to go back to a mind and think in the world into different pieces.
Mm.
But it really was the whole thing, like the whole experience, the how the people change, the culture change, the everything around you, and how your body as a animal you can adapt and readapt and learn and throw what is useless now to learn what you need to know to cross a desert, to cross a icy mountain. You have to be a very chameleonic
Yeah.
uh, person, or go into the chameleonic mood, because we all can do it if we really want to.
Yes.
But special corners of the world, I will choose Mongolia, for example, was an amazing experience because it's a very
Mongolia.
remote country where not many tourists go. Less tourism has passed through, more juicy is the place.
Yes,
And
always. Yes.
for sure, and then Mongolia will be amazing corner to explain 100 stories about that country, but also Namibia in Africa as a desert is one of the most beautiful deserts I've ever seen.
It's like
Uh,
red clay. No?
it's like,
Red clay, the desert there. It's like,
yeah, in the very
yeah.
north, the Himba people, the people that they cover with that red clay, they
Yes.
are there, and it has a lot of variations. Like normally the deserts are very kind of one thing, like one theme, and
Right.
this is the desert. But Namibia, what happened in Namibia is when you cross, we went from south to north. It's very changeable. Everything changed, so you have a lot of taste of
Oh,
desert
nice.
in one only country. That was amazing. Um, yeah, I think those also after Ladakh in India, those mountains up there, and some corners also in some Indonesian island. We did in Sumatra. Bueno, we crossed Sumatra, but we did in I don't remember now the name, but another of the island we make a was my birthday.
Java.
No, it's in the north. It's something like S.
Sumatra,
Sum,
Java.
Surat, no, Suratani said, or so many places, that sometimes you really lose.
It's true. It is true.
But we did a piece in the jungle. Our visa was running out because we already crossed like Sumatra, Java, um, all the islands we was crossing one by one, Bali, and then we just traveled to that island before our visa finished to cross the jungle. But the jungle I'm
Oh,
talking about a way that only one motorcycle or one bicycle can pass through, because the people who live inside the jungle, they only go by motorcycle. They have two in the little village, and they just move with these two motorcycles.
so everyone
Uh,
shares them.
yes, and no,
Wow.
everyone goes because you have to be really fit. I mean, I'm talking about jungle, mountains, crossing rivers, real jungle, and cut the jungle like this, like a one way,
Wow.
cutting the center
So
of the jungle.
I saw Sulawesi. Is that what it is?
Sulawesi, yes. That's it. In the very north, one friend of us, he already did that trail, and it's very extreme because you don't have even, you cannot even, the jungle, no, it's very thick, it's full of
Yes.
animals, it's full of
Yes.
everything, so you cannot even camp wherever you want. You cannot get, sometimes you listen the water but you cannot arrive to that water. So jungle is hard and dense and strong and full of life, and cross the jungle is something very extreme. So that was another highlight of the trip. Yeah, I will say 100 million places. After one, another is coming,
Come in.
and like,
Did you ever get to go
oh
to Madagascar?
no, never, never.
Here's so much
But
fascinating things about that. It's a place that's more suited for bicycles and bikes, I hear.
oh yes.
Yeah, they said it's
Eh,
very
uh,
hard to travel through in a car.
Oh, interesting. The thing
Mm.
is, and normally when you meet other travelers, it happens this, like, have you been in there? And then you have another
Place.
place to go. It's like that's the problem. That's the
Right,
thing. You get addictive.
right, exactly. So two more things, because I love having this conversation with you. Like, you could tell it to me over and over again, and there'll be something new to it every single time, because I just think it's a beautiful thing. I think as an American as well, I think we struggle with this sort of social conditioning of graduate high school, go to college, or go find yourself a job and work, 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 work until you die. And what I what I've found with Europeans when I've lived in Europe and traveled through Europe is this sort of they do believe in like working, but there's this other sort of carefreeness to them where they will take these moments or these opportunities to do something, you know, out of the ordinary, like what you did. Like, one of the teachers at the ashram, Samsa, who's from Finland,
Hmm.
basically has spent 8 years at the ashram. went back to Europe, got his law degree, then went back to the ashram and stayed and didn't even practice, like things like that. And but it sounded like your family, the people around you in Spain was saying the same things that we would hear here in the United States. Well, if we say something like, I'm going to pack up, and when I told my friends I was going to pack up and go to an ashram in Thailand, most of them were like, do it, because they know I'm crazy enough to do it. And then there were a couple of them that were like, well, you sure? It's dangerous. What are you doing? I was like, I don't got time for that. I'm out. But speaking of taste, you said something about the countries having different tastes and flavors. What was one of your favorite places to eat? Because you're a vegetarian.
Yes.
So what was one of your favorite places to eat food?
Well, really, I used to like a lot India, but after my taste has changed, and I really like more Southeast Asia, much more now, like
Yes.
Thailand,
Yes.
or in Malaysia, the Chinese
So that food.
community of Malaysia,
Yeah.
how they prepare their foods. Oh my God. Oh
Yes.
my God. That kind of food.
Malaysian food is amazing.
Yes, but also Iranian food is very nice, and
Yes.
it's kind of what I really love of this trip is it was like, okay, you cross the border, and then it's like, okay, let's have fun. I was waiting for the first shop to enter, of course, food shop, to
Right.
enter and to see what is new, because in many, many, many countries, out of the what we call first world countries, it's very different. You change the country and everything really changes. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
find the same products like you do when you go from Spain to France or to Italy, more
Right.
or less. But we are talking about totally change. You don't know anymore what is what, and they eat different things. So it made you change all your habits, which is
Mm.
very nice and healthy, I think. Uh,
Yes.
but also was kind of a surprise, no? Let's see what is waiting for us. Let's go into the supermarket and check it all, no? And that's the most I love was even that feeling of what's new and go to discover, no? Even more than eat it, like
Right.
the come on, or to see a market like in Africa, for example, or and then stop, of course, stop going to the market and eat what the people is cooking there. Normally the mamas, no, are cooking just
Yes.
right there. It's warm, and then you sit with them, sit down near, and you eat, and people is sitting, and you are there being one more, eating what they are eating.
Yes.
Though that moment is not only about what you are eating, it's the moment itself, no? It's like,
It's like you
wow.
connect in a different sort of way. And that's
See,
how I always experience food. Like speaking of like how different, like being in Southeast Asia, the Southeast Asian Peninsula, right? You have all these different countries. And last year I went to Thailand, Malaysia, and Vietnam. And the food was absolutely different in each one of those countries. And depending on where you were in the country, the food was very different. Because like Vietnam, the north, the food is very different from the south, and it was just amazing. Like going, there was some things I didn't take chances with because I have a very sensitive stomach. So like I love cart food, but I've had really bad experiences with cart food where I get super sick. That happened to me in China, and then it happened again to me in New York. And so now I'd rather go into a hole in the wall restaurant and eat there versus buying the food from the carts on the street. But I would love to get to a place. I have a friend of mine who told me she got some things that I could take when I travel that will keep me from getting sick. So I'm going to start doing that because I feel like you miss out. The carts or the street food is where the real essence of the culture is, and I feel like crap when I don't get to experience it, but it's so much fun just trying it out.
for sure, for sure. And also make the people like you, they see you more in a horizontal line than
Right,
the tourists with lot of money that go into the tourist restaurant, or into the restaurant that the most of the people there they cannot afford. When
right,
you go there and you eat with them, first that you are really tasting the country, because that's the country, the little things of the normal daily life of the simple people. And
right,
when you are there, you are eating what they are eating, you are suffering the heat if it's hot, the whatever, no? Um, and also to be out in the street eating, like sitting there, and you see the life, especially the markets, no? You are seeing the life, it's a whole experience, much more better than going to maybe into a tourist restaurant with AC. You will be more happy in terms of comfort. But
right.
as one friend say, if you want comfort, better stay at home.
Exactly. Yeah, me and my friend, she's a vegetarian. I'm not, even though I'm moving towards being a pescatarian. We would go into like the little hole in the wall places. Like we would ask like the locals like where were the best places to eat and
Ajá.
not for tourists, and that's the places we would go. But she was able to eat the street food and I wasn't. She goes, why won't you eat it? I was like, I really want to, but my I know that my stomach is super sensitive, and so
Ajá.
anything that's completely out of the ordinary for it, it just completely goes crazy. And so she was like, oh, and she was just eating and eating, and I was just like, oh, so much. But it was just, yes, like one of the things, like one of the main reasons why I wanted to go to Iran was because I wanted to travel through Iran eating the food.
Yes.
Because I already know that like I salivate thinking about the food. I want to go to Ethiopia so I can have one of those moments in the tents with the women where they're making the coffee, they're doing the
Mhm.
coffee grinds, and
Oh,
like the coffee ceremony. I'm like, I have to have this experience in my lifetime.
yes.
So the flavors are wonderful, right? So you're experiencing the food, the culture. You had said something the last time, because we were re-recording this, guys, because the last recording didn't work. But I love what you said when you said that when you got into Africa, you never thought about yourself as a white woman, but when you got to Africa, you realized how different you were, and that experience. Tell us a little bit about that experience traveling in your skin. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, that was exactly, what happened. Like, um I never realized to be, I never experienced what is to be look as a different, or as a, till I arrived to Africa, and was that, no, was the feeling of being white,
Right,
and being judged by your skin. So by the color of your skin, they were already kind of getting the picture of who you are.
Right.
because of what color is your skin, and was kind of, oh my god, because of course they started to treat like a lot of asking for money, give me money, give me
Yeah.
this, give me that, and it was like, come on, these people are not seeing how dirty I am. Can you see that I didn't have a shower for maybe a week, and I
Right.
traveling full of dust in this bicycle? Can you cannot, and they couldn't see the difference because they were just they stop in our skin to 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 meet ourselves. They
Right.
didn't go deeper to meet who is this person. With the
Hmm.
color of the skin, is like, okay, you are white, and then because you are white, you're supposed to have money to do
Right.
this, and was like, wow, no, my god, this is super. This is a big injustice because uh, we are, we are so different to each other, no? And it's like,
Right.
if you judge me because this color, is like you judge me because the color of my eyes is the most stupid thing you can do.
Right. Right.
And was amazing and nice. I mean, this way of travel bring you very a lot of experience that they are not tasty, not nice, not sweet. They are
Mm.
bitter, but many of those experiences teach you a lot because you are suffering in your skin.
Right.
um, the feelings of, or what what makes you feel, no, the people looking into you like that and not going further with you. Is just, okay, you are just a rich white person coming to my country, and I want to get from you as much as I can. That's it. And it's like, wow, that's, I
Right.
just came to meet you, and you are treating me like that. Wow. But so it was very nice and make you reflect a lot, to suffer.
Right.
um,
Because then
that,
you
no,
begin to experience what other people experience on a day-to-day basis.
that's it, because I can see from myself before how, which, that is a very stupid thought, to judge someone by the cloth you dress,
Hmm.
by the color of your skin or your hair, or it's kind of so really superficial, and little mind you have to have, no,
Right.
to do that. I already knew it, but to taste in your own mouth what
Yeah.
that means, how those eyes are looking to you, and to
Hmm.
feel it and get the emotion inside, how
Yes.
bad it is totally different that to think, oh, of course, that's not right. No, no,
Yeah.
just taste it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you're seeing it from the first experience, it's very sort of abstract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can kind of think about it, but until you actually have the experience. And it's so funny being a Black American. I have two different experiences when I travel, right?
Uh-huh.
Overseas. In some places, it's like they judge me because of the color of my skin, but then as soon as they hear me speaking, and as soon as they hear me speak, they realize I'm American. So all of a sudden now I'm the rich white girl, but in a black body. Oh, American, yes, come, come, come. And then I remember it used to be, especially in Europe, um, coming from America, where Black people are treated really, you're being here, so you've been seeing what's going on, treated truly horrible, and going to Europe and being treated differently. I took a lot of pride in that, but then I began to realize that I was being treated differently because I was American, because the African people that were in Europe were treated like I am treated here. So it was,
Oh.
yeah, so it's a very unique experience, a dual experience, because there's a certain privilege that comes with an American passport, and then
Uh-huh.
there's a certain non-privilege that comes with my dark skin. So
That's super interesting.
yeah,
That's super interesting.
it's a very interesting experience. And so I just, but what your takeaway from those experiences, though, what did you learn about people and you?
Wow, so many things, so many. 10 years is a long time, and
Right.
so many countries that I cannot count anymore. Is a lot. So I can talk for hours, but the main thing that happened to me in terms of the world, the people, and what I was seeing was, like, in the beginning, every country, every border we crossed, the next country was like, oh, look at those, how they dress. oh my God, how they pray, how they eat, everything was a surprise, no? Like a party of changes.
Right.
Like, my God, they are so different. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
look how they do. And after years, I don't know when that happened, which moment, but I think was around after 3 years traveling. I start to feel like crossing a border and seeing people different, but feeling, wow, they are the same. And
Mm.
have a kind of sweet smile inside, like, the same. Look at those.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they are different, but they are different in the surface. I think
Right.
my eyes, after to see so much changing,
Yes.
they kind of were, or my perception were deeper into what I was receiving from the world, people, places. I think the view, the eyes were kind of deeper than in the beginning. So behind the differences, my eyes were pointing to a different place, not
Mm-hmm.
anymore to the first dimension that okay, the
Right.
colors, the way, the words, they were deeper. And then what I found was the same everywhere, like
Yes.
the same way to act, the same, like what we were talking before about the fears, no? We all have fear, and
Mm-hmm.
we all know what is to don't be able to move because the fear has
Right.
stopped you. And then we all have sadness and happiness, and we all cry and we all laugh, and we all feel I'm not enough, and sometimes yes, I can do it. We all move deep down in the
Right.
same realm of things, emotion, thoughts, even if our story is different, but that story is, or that skin or that name or that profession, they are
Right.
just like in the tree, Christmas tree, the things that you
Yes.
hang in the tree.
Right. Like the
But the
ornaments.
picture is like a tree and a celebration. So there, that
Right.
is the same. Then whatever you hang in your tree, of course, will be different. But finally, the thing is the same, no?
Right. It's like everything that's different about us is very superficial. And
Totally,
and at the
totally.
heart of it, we're all pretty much wanting the same thing. And I always say we just want to be loved, and we want to be loved, and we want to be able to love. Uh, and
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean that there aren't any injustices in the world. There are things that there are consequences to how we've been living the in the world the last millennia, with how we've treated each other, that's caused a ripple effect across time.
Uh-huh.
But once we get past those very superficial things, down at the heart we connect. And that was the beautiful thing about traveling for me as well, that I learned, you know, I didn't have to speak the language. It was like there was something that allowed me to connect to the people on a deeper level, and we understood each other. And that happened to me at the ashram several times. My first 2 weeks at the ashram, I had a Japanese roommate the first week, and then the second week I had another Japanese roommate. And the first one spoke English well. I'm still in contact with her. I love her. I'm still in contact with the second one, Aiko, but she didn't speak English very well, and she was really embarrassed. And I was like, "No, don't worry about it." I was like, "At least you can speak some English. I speak no Japanese." And but we understood each other. Like there was a heart connect, right? That allowed us to understand without the superficiality of language. Like there was a different language being spoken that was vibrating a lot higher than the language coming out of our mouths. And it was a beautiful experience with her. Like some of the things she said to me, I was just like, whoa, her experience with me. And I just that's one of the reasons I think that I love to travel, is because sometimes I get tired of the superficial, and I want to have like a spiritual connection with the people that I encounter. And so when
Mm.
when you remove the being able to communicate the same language, or uh, being able to maybe experience similar things because you're a woman or the color of your skin, when you remove all of that, then what do you have left when you're communicating with one another? And the only thing you have is your heart.
Totally. Totally, and that's the same. And
Yeah.
then then you feel when you look to those eyes of someone that you are trying to communicate in different language, he or she is speaking Farsi, and you
Yeah.
don't have any idea, and he or she don't know any English or any Spanish, and you are there sometimes talking in two different languages talking to each other. Is like finally you realize you end up getting to understand because you want and you will and you open totally because you open, no? And when that feeling, no, of look to the eyes of the person and see the person in the eyes and
Yes.
feel the vibration, no, and
Mm.
feel the connection and laugh or smile because you are feeling like here we are, no?
Right.
And
Exactly.
it that's it. You don't need words really more than that, no? And those are the more beautiful moments of the trip.
It's amazing. And
Like,
it's so funny because I'm just like, and the thing is, I say this to people often. I said, at the base level, at our most basic level, we're the same. And yet I love celebrating the differences. You know what I
uh-huh,
mean? I like that I can go to Spain and the language is different and the food is different and I can celebrate that. What I don't ever want is for that difference to become a prejudice for me. You know what I
uh,
mean? You get what I mean? Like, I don't want to look at your difference as a bad thing. And so for me, it's always about being open. I think what most people do, they allow what's different, no matter how superficial it is about another person, they allow it to be a judgment versus a curiosity of understanding. Because the differences is what color our perception.
uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like it's what color the perception of what we're experiencing. But then once we get past that, we realize, oh, we're speaking the same language, even though we're not speaking the same language.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
you know? You know?
That's very important. What you just say is to listen again because that's very important and that's the key of being happy when you travel. Because many people go far, they make a trip and they really don't enjoy. They are
Miserable.
most of the time complaining or and it has happened to me, you
Yes.
discover yourself complaining and it's like, okay, wait a minute, take it, this is it, and you are
Yeah.
here just traveling through and this is different maybe to travel in a very extreme Muslim area where you have to cover because it's a law, or
Right.
maybe there is not a law but for them it's a way of respect and
Right.
you to respect them, so whatever they do you copy and paste, you do the
Right.
same. I don't mind what I think about this, but I'm here. This is your country. This is your home. I'm a
Mm.
visitor. I should respect you. That's the first, no?
Right.
So some moments, no, like bring you to those moments of you are suffering that. I mean, maybe it's August, it's hot, and you are covered from all only out are is your eyes, and you are not
And you're
used to
wearing
that.
all black.
Yes,
Ah,
yes, I did
God.
that, no? And some moments is like you discover yourself, of course, complaining like, these people. And then it's like, that's very important to keep in your pocket when you travel and remember from time to time that thought that you say,
Yeah.
let this be another color in my trip. Let this
Yeah.
be another new experience, new taste that I never got to taste, but it's just to pass through, to experience more, no, to be more
Right.
rich. Finally, it makes you rich the more you experience. But it's very easy. It's very human, I think, to fall into
Playing.
complaints.
Yeah. I did the first 2 months I was in Thailand because it was hot and they had no AC.
Yes. The
I
thing
was trying to
is,
leave the ashram constantly, and they were like, "Tanisha, you're here to study. Are you here to study? Or are you here to be comfortable? What are you here for?" Because I was like, "It's so hot. I'm dying." Because
oh,
there was no AC, and it was like 95, 98 degrees, or what is that, 38 or 40 degrees
yeah,
Celsius?
and all the humidity that
Yeah.
was the word, and all the mosquitoes in the sala with the yoga, no, I was complaining also in my mind like, oh, and then you should be relaxed with 100 mosquitoes biting me. What is this about? What is this tantra tradition about? But then that's teaching you, no, that
Yeah, it is.
finally is a teaching and you pass over and
It's
you
so
discover a
funny.
new you.
It's like, I remember too, because I remember the first month they kept saying relax, and every time they would say relax, I would get tense and more tense and more tense. I want to relax. Shut up.
Yeah, a lot of things come out. Is
Yeah.
that thing, no? When we jump out of our comfort zone and
Yes.
we expose ourselves to the world, to the beauty and the non-beauty, to the comfort and the very uncomfort. That's the thing that travel brings you, no?
Yes.
Everything. You don't
Yes.
choose there. It is what it is, and you have to eat it.
Yes.
And have
As
a
we
good
say, eat your
digestion.
food.
Yes. So that's the beauty on that, no? That
Yeah.
many people want to travel and have everything under control. And it's like, wow, so then stay at home, because the beauty of the trip also is when everything goes under control and then
Yes.
you are exposed. So then it's the university. You are there, you are learning about yourself, about all the misery that come out of yourself. You can see the whole you, not only the beauty
Yes.
part that you want to show to the world how cool you are. No, we all have our dark side, and
Yes.
many times in those moments everything got out the worst
Everything.
of you. So it's a kind of very humble time to also to say, yes, this is me also, and
Right.
unless what I do with this
Yes.
me and with this situation, no.
Yes.
So that's the beauty in all of this. It's kind of a party of moments of learning, of seeing, of is wonderful, really.
Right. And what continents did you guys hit while you were doing it? Because you didn't go everywhere in that 10 years.
I didn't cycle South America,
Oh, wow.
because I stopped in Utah. But anyway, we did Asia, like India, Pakistan, all that, no? Iran, Arab Peninsula, and
Hmm.
then Africa. We went back to Spain, then we did Europe. Again, we went heading east because we wanted to go Mongolia. So after
Yes.
Africa and after Spain, we head east again. So we cross all like the Silk Route, we can say,
Yes.
through Turkey,
Yes.
all that route, China, Mongolia, and then we went south towards Southeast Asia, Indonesia, New Zealand. We flew, was the first time we flew.
Uh-huh.
New Zealand, and then from New Zealand we flew to Alaska, and we did Alaska, Canada, and we entered in the States, Montana, Idaho, Montana, I don't remember the order. And in Utah we stopped to have a break, and that was the moment when I decided to stop. Was something that was building up in myself, no, like not
Mm-hmm.
really. I wanted to stop. It is better explained the feeling that I wanted to do more things, not just
Yes.
that. So
Right.
that wanting to do, like to go to the ashram and deep into the practice, to write the book, some
Yes.
things they were waiting. And cycling, the life of cycling is very hard and takes your 100%. So all those things, they were kind of in a queue
Yeah.
asking me, we are here, we are here. That
Pay
was the
attention
moment.
to us.
Yeah, I was like, okay, it's time to go to the next,
Right.
and then is when I stopped without to realize I was stopping. I many times I thought, oh, how is going to be the last day of cycling? We are going to celebrate where we are going. This needs to be big because after
Right.
so long time, and I love the way it was because it was without even me knowing that I was not going to keep cycling anymore. We
Wow.
just stopped for a break, and I never took the bicycle back. So it was like
It was a beautiful
so
parting
yes, like the water, passing from one
to the
place
next
to the
thing.
other.
One
Yes.
wave to the next wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things that I asked you the last call that I really want you to talk about, because you were a Leo, right?
Yes.
And I asked you, did you ever come face to face with your self in Africa?
Yes.
The
Yes. Yes.
lion, the
We have
lioness.
that lion story that was
Yes.
in Namibia.
Yeah.
We normally we cross the most of the countries. We like to go out of the, of course, touristic areas or touristic routes, or even the route that all the people take. So
Right.
we normally make longer ways, and normally the word or the place is harder to pass through. But
Mm-hmm.
as we say before, it's more juicy, no, because less
Yes.
people has passed through. So
Right.
it's more real, more pure. And then that we did in Namibia, you can cross it by asphalt. cement, like the
Right.
road
Right.
have pavement, but
Right.
you can do it also through rough roads, and we
Mm-hmm.
choose that. Was very tough, but was very nice. Really was super nice.
Right.
But the thing is, in one of those, the last part in the north of Namibia, going towards the border with Angola, we entered into an area called Nagaland, Damaraland, and that area have a lot of animals. Like
Oh wow.
some areas in Africa already we were
Like
like
Botswana,
Botswana, that was the road with
the
tons of
elephants.
elephants. My God,
Oh,
yes.
I don't want that
So
experience.
after we were already a year and 4 months in Africa. So we were used to the life with the animals. So we were not really afraid of entering in the Maraland. So we enter, it's a desert. I mean, Namibia is not really populated. So you don't
Right.
know even when you are entering, you don't have signs. You are in the, in the no man's land. You are
Right.
in the middle of everything, but in the middle of nowhere also.
Right. Exactly.
So that day, yes, we camped like a normal day more. We saw in the evening, like, wow, like those programs, those documentals of Africa in the
Yes.
that all the animals are there, the zebras, the giraffes, the everything, like was really like a documental in front of your eyes. And we thought, okay, let's stop here today. And then we camp, and in the middle of the night, one hyena we were was around our campsite, and we were afraid of the hyena because we didn't know how they act and one alone. And anyway, the hyena left, and we were there like still with the excitement, like, oh my God, and was here. And
Right.
suddenly we listen in the back the lion sound. That we were 3 months in South Africa in a meditation center,
Uh-huh.
and in the next door was animal kind of zoo. So
Uh-huh.
we really knew the sound of the lions because
Right.
we had been like 3 months listening them almost daily. So we, of course, we recognize, wow, those are lions. It was
Mm.
bad, but of course we couldn't go back to sleep. And this was like in 3 hours. It happens everything very slow. That we were listening them like every 15 minutes or so, making that noise that they make when they are just walking around,
Yeah.
more near, and then more near, and then more near. And of course we were realizing like, oh my God, we don't have even the full tent because we were sleeping inside the mosquito net of the tent without the
Right.
second layer. So we were tidying the some pieces of textile for them to don't see us because they can see in the dark. It was
Right.
totally dark outside. So our eyes were our ears,
Right.
and trying to realize what we can do, and and also realizing by while listening them approaching to you, and you are realizing you can do nothing.
Nothing.
No
Yeah.
one can help you. You cannot call to no one because first of all, you don't have even telephone. And even if you have, will be totally useless.
Right.
And they're approaching to you and you are realizing, I can do nothing. I'm in the hands of life.
Right.
Because if those animals can eat me, like literally. And then all this is building up in your body, and many things pass through your mind. You can imagine all the prayers that
Yes.
somebody teach you once, everything passed through you. And
Jesus,
then
Krishna, all of y'all.
what else, no? And then also you realize we cannot fly. Humans, we are totally useless. We are
Right. It's
one
true.
of the worst animals. We are really
If we don't have weapons, we're useless.
nothing. It's
Yeah.
embarrassed to be a human in the jungle. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot climb even a tree almost. So they keep approaching, and in one moment we were inside the tent, and then we were listening. Like in the right side of the tent was a lion, just there, right there, behind the little piece of textile that is a tent. It's
Right.
nothing. In the right side was one, in the back was another, and in the left side was another. So for sure there were three. We
Yes.
didn't know because we couldn't see anything. We didn't know it was more, but they were sniffing around, and you are listening them right there, like
Right.
trying to, because they smell you, of course. They
Yes.
know
They can
you are
smell
there,
all your pheromones and everything.
but they see the tent. They don't know how to enter or what is this. So they were kind of researching around, and my God, that I can explain, but there is not really words to
Mm,
explain what is this in real, like to
right.
be there and be listening them and be there is no words really to explain this unless in another language. But finally they were there around, and suddenly everything stopped for a second. They kind of stopped, nothing, and we listen like many, like animals, like imagine horses running. So
Yes.
something passed through running, many animals, and then one of the lions' hand. So we listen there, ah, that they say. You can listen that noise like I don't know how many kilometers far. I don't know if
Yes.
it's 3 or 4. So can you
Yes.
imagine what is to listen like 2 meters far of
Yeah,
the
like 2 miles
lion?
away. Yes.
Really? So he just hand there something. We were understanding what was going on because our ears. So
Right.
we listened the hunting, and then they were kind of fighting between each other. A lot of we
Yeah.
were super scared, totally paralyzed by the fear.
Right.
And and then after they start to eat whatever they hunt, because we were able to listen the chewing of the bones of the
Oh,
animal
crunch, crunch.
in their.
Yes.
We were listening all the chewing, all the. So finally they left. These were hours. I'm talking about all this happened in hours. They left. The sun came out. They left because there was a river. And then we knew that, like the lions in the morning, even if they had eaten in the early morning, they go to the river because all the animals go to drink. And then
Right.
they can hunt something for the rest of the day.
Right.
So we wait for the sun a little bit extra to really go up and high, and then we just pack everything and
Left.
run.
You were
But
like,
it took.
we're going to travel through this entire country by the time at the end of the day.
My God, you cannot even imagine. I was cycling that day and I was feeling, wow, I didn't feel my legs. I
Yeah.
didn't feel the movement in my legs, because I think I was burning all the emotion or all the
The fear
adrenaline
out.
of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
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 And
The trauma of it.
I have a picture of the evening before, right when we were there flipping out with all the documental image.
Yeah.
And I have a picture of my face and another one that Aitor made of me in the evening, next day after the lion thing. And I have the two of them. I compare them, and it looks like 10 years has passed through that person. Even
Wow.
the skin in one was a nice tone color,
Right.
like little brownie color, and in the next day was white with red spots all over.
Over. Oh no. That's what they say. They say that like the reason why animals don't experience like massive trauma like humans do is because most of the time they'll, after they have a traumatic experience, like say a deer accident almost get hit by a car, but it misses him, and what a deer will do will go into an area and it will just shake it off. And so,
Wow.
and because trauma is in the actual cells of the body, and so you have
Uh-huh.
to do something actual physically to remove the trauma out of the cells of the body. And so what humans don't do, we bring the trauma here and we don't
Uh-huh.
fully remove it. So that's why when we were doing the yoga, a lot of people after a certain amount of time, if you were there long enough, they'll start crying in the middle of the session. I've heard people screaming in the middle of the session because all of the trauma that they've been holding onto in their bodies starts to seep out.
Wow, God. So maybe we did well by cycling so hard
Yes.
after the experience. Because I remember to be in a trance, to be in the nothingness, like not able to think anymore, just cycle like a crazy, enter into a kind of trance.
Right.
And after an hour and a half cycling hard, I remember I saw Aitor in the middle of the trail, stop with a bicycle. So I just went together with him and stopped. We look at each other and we start to laugh.
Yeah,
laugh,
exactly.
laugh. I after start to cry also, and was a kind of, oh my God,
Release.
yes, we just throw ourselves on the floor, looking to the sky, and we stay there like for an hour. Was amazing.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do to, like, when we have a traumatic experience, we have to release it out of the cells. Otherwise, it just sits. And then they say you actually pass it on genetically to your children.
They say so, yes. That's why they say we carry the most of us, we carry the pain
Yeah,
of our ancestors. And
yeah,
sometimes the pain you are feeling in yourself that you don't, some emotions you feel and they have kind of sense. But
right.
some others like, what is this? How I'm feeling this? What is this? And sometimes that is just your ancestors'
Yes,
history.
all in your
That,
body, like, yo, living your life.
yes,
So you wrote a book. Can you tell
yes.
us about the book? I'm going to get that book. I am currently learning Spanish. Español. With an Argentinian accent, which I'm not trying. But you wrote a book. What's the name of the book, and where can we get it?
The book name is El Mundo es Mi Casa. That
Uh,
means the world is my house,
mm-hmm.
or yes, or my house is the world.
Or
I
my
don't know in
home.
English.
Yeah, the world is my home.
My
Yeah,
home is the world. See,
yeah.
and and then I'm selling it. It's a self-published book, and I'm selling it now just through internet, through our website, which is the same name, elmundoesmicasa.com.
Okay.
Also for the Spanish speakers, in this coronavirus time,
Say it in Spanish.
I was using the time to I was using the time to make what I did, because I realized I'm lucky. I'm here in California. I'm in a nice place in the forest, so this lockdown didn't hit me hard. But
Mm,
in contact with people in Spain that they are living in the city in apartments, having very hard time, I thought, okay, let's share something of all these stories, just to share a nice moment with the people and make them travel from their houses. So
mm-hmm.
I opened this YouTube channel, and then I make videos of 25 minutes, and in
Okay.
every video I read a little bit of the book. I share a story that is not written in the book, and then a comment of whoever, some people that wrote the book and send me a nice whatever, something
Right.
extra just to laugh, or something more interesting, just like a last note.
Okay.
So all the videos are like that, and it's 9 videos I did. I'm not doing anymore. It was like
Aw.
and there, that is in the channel with my name is Laura Martinez Calderon.
Calderon.
Yes, so there also you can kind of listen parts of the book, because I'm reading from the book itself.
Okay.
So that's another way. And yeah, it is the electronic version in our website, and also the book in paper, the book itself, the physical book.
Right. Right. Okay, perfect. And I'll get that information from you again.
Okay, I
And
sent you
I would
again. No
link it down,
problem, Tanisha.
because
I
I'm gonna
love you.
upload this YouTube. I'm gonna upload this to my YouTube, and then the audio to the podcast. So people will
Nice,
get to experience you both places. So, and
nice.
that'll come out. I'm probably gonna upload the video to YouTube tomorrow, and then the podcast will be posted on Friday. So, I want them to
Perfect.
be able to find you. And I personally want to buy the book as well. I want to have it as a coffee table book and
Oh
call it,
my God, that's an
yeah.
honor.
And I'm learning Spanish, so it gives me a reason to keep reading. Thank you so much, Laura, for being willing to do this again. I'm sorry that the first time the audio didn't work,
It's perfect.
but
That's life
yeah,
happening. I'm
exactly.
super happy and glad for you to having me in your podcast, in your series, and I wish you a lot of success with all this.
Stuff that I'm doing. You too. Same with you, and I'm sure we'll cross paths again, because I have
Hopefully,
reasons to come to California from time to time.
welcome. You have a place here for sure.
Yes. Let's hope. First, we got to get this stupid virus under control. I was
Yes.
supposed to come to California in August, but my city my state is shutting down again because the governor opened too early, and now the city that I'm in, we have a strain of the virus that is the most contagious out of all of them. So I won't be able to go anywhere for a while because I don't even know if I'm carrying it, and I don't want to carry it to another place. So
Well done, well
yeah,
done. Yeah,
yeah.
we have to
So
be responsible in these times that we all want to jump out, do things. We all, but let's take a minute.
yes, I think it's important, like during this time, for us to, you know, if we can take the minute, not just if we can, because we can make the time.
Yes.
Even those of us who are having to still work and who are going through this process, just to take the moment to breathe. And I think we can probably see it from a different perspective. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I'm glad that our paths have crossed. And send me your address so I can send you a thank you card.
Okay, I will for sure.
Okay,
That's
okay.
very nice.
Thank you so much.
Love you.
Love you
Bye
too. Bye bye.
bye.